Let's be honest, if the letters MLA make you break out in a little bit of a cold sweat, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to forget all the complicated rules and the endless exceptions for a bit. Today, we're breaking down citation into a really simple, logical system that you can actually master, like right now. You know that feeling, right? Staring at your paper, wondering if you did it correctly. It can feel like this secret code that's just designed to trip you up. But what if I told you it's not really about avoiding mistakes? What if it's about powerfully connecting your work to a much, much larger conversation? Because that's exactly what good citation does. It's not just a defense against plagiarism. No, it performs three big, positive jobs every single time you use it. So, what are those jobs? Well, first off, it gives credit where credit is due, right? It honors the people who did the work before you. Second, it's like a trail of breadcrumbs, letting your readers find your sources and see the evidence for themselves. And third, and this is the big one, it's your way of saying, hey, I've done the reading, and now I have something to add. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big idea behind MLA, then we'll break down its two key parts, the in-text citations and the works cited page. And we'll finish up with a super simple checklist so you know you've got it right every single time. All right, so if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. MLA is not just a random list of nitpicky rules. It is a simple, kind of elegant, two-part system, and it's designed to connect your words to your sources seamlessly. Once this clicks, I promise everything else just falls into place. I like to think of it as a signal and map system. The in-text citation, that little thing in parentheses like Garcia 42, that's your signal. You pop it right into your sentence, and it tells your reader, hey, this idea came from somewhere else. That signal then points them to the full map, the complete entry on your works cited page, which has all the details they need to find that source for themselves. So here's how it works in practice. Imagine you're the reader. You see that little signal, Garcia 42. You get curious, you flip to the end of the paper, you look for Garcia, and boom, you instantly find all the details of that source. It's a super smooth way to go from the text straight to the research. So let's start with those quick signals. Getting the hang of the in-text citation is really the first half of the puzzle. At its heart, an MLA in-text citation is just a quick little note in parentheses. Its whole job is to identify the source, usually with the author's last name, and point to a specific spot, like a page number. The default format, the one you're going to use most of the time, is simply author's last name, page number. That's it. See? Not so scary. Okay, I can already hear you asking, but what about the real world? What if I have two authors or no author? What about a website with no page numbers? Don't worry, this isn't a trick. MLA has a clear, logical fix for every single one of these common situations. Check it out. For two authors, you just list both their names. For three or more, you use the first author's name and then et al., which is just a fancy Latin way of saying and others. If you can't find an author, you just use a shortened version of the article's title in quotation marks. And if you're quoting someone who is quoted in your source, you use QTD in to show that. See? It's all just simple, predictable patterns. Okay, so we've got the signals down. Now it's time to build the map. Your works cited page is basically the full directory of every single source you signaled in your paper, giving your reader all the info they need. Setting up the page itself is really straightforward. Just 4 simple steps. Title it works cited and center it at the top. Alphabetize all your sources, double space the whole thing, no extra spaces between entries, and finally, use a hanging indent. That just means the first line of each source is all the way to the left, and every line after that is indented. It makes it super easy to scan down the list of names. So what do the entries look like? For a standard book, the pattern is author's name, the title of the book in italics, the publisher, and the year it came out. Simple. Notice how the title of the bigger work, the book itself, is in italics. You're going to see that pattern again. A journal article has a few more pieces, but the logic is the same. You start with the author, then the title of the article goes in quotation marks. But the title of the journal it came from, that goes in italics. See the pattern? The smaller piece is in quotes, the larger container it sits in is in italics. Then you just add the volume, number, year, and page numbers. And if you found it online, you end with a DOI, which is basically a permanent link to the article, or just the URL. The pattern for a web page is pretty much the same deal. You start with the author, if you can find one. Then, just like the article, the specific title of the web page is in quotes, and the bigger website name is in italics. After that, you just add the publisher, the date it was published, and the URL. The whole key is just to provide enough details so someone else can find exactly what you found. And here it is, the golden rule that ties the whole system together. Your signal and your map have to connect perfectly. Whatever word you use in your in-text citation, whether it's an author's name like Garcia or a short title like student privacy, that has to be the very first word of that entry on your works cited page. That's how your reader makes the jump from one to the other. All right, we've covered the whole system. We're in the home stretch. To wrap things up, let's just do a quick rapid-fire checklist of the absolute must-knows to make sure your citations are perfect. Here are the 4 big ones. Number 1, your in-text signal is almost always going to be author page. Stick to that. 2, every single signal in your text must have a matching map on the works cited page, no exceptions. 3, remember those formatting rules, alphabetical, double-spaced, hanging indent. And 4, no author, no problem. Just use a shortened version of the title as your signal. So the next time you write a paper, try not to think of citation as a chore. See it for what it really is. It's your ticket to the conversation. It's how you show you've listened to other thinkers, and it's how you earn the right for your own voice to be heard. You've got the system down. Now go make your argument.